No one can strike until certain procedures are met. First, the local union must request binding arbitration. The ATU has always favored contract arbitration in lieu of strikes. If the employer agrees, the union and the company present their contract proposals to a neutral arbitrator who decides, like a judge, what the wages, hours, benefits, and contract terms will be. Second, if the company refuses to arbitrate, in order for a strike to be approved, 2/3 of the membership must vote to strike. That means that 2 out of 3 of you must feel that a strike is the only available alternative. Most ATU contracts have been hashed out at the bargaining table through good old-fashioned negotiations.
What about union dues?
Well, I can't think of a single union or any other organization that doesn't need money to run itself. Now, the thing is, you decide what your dues will be. Your local union will be controlled by you and operated by you because you are the union. It's not run by me, not run by the International. Most of your dues stay right here in your local. Now, dues not only pay for the renting of office space and all the costs of doing business, but it also pays for your elected officers and the covering of expenses of bargaining and grievance procedures, leadership classes, lobbying, and legislative services, not to mention educational seminars to help members stay on top of their field.
Well, the International has done some really great things with education of the members. All the locals, all the memberships in Canada and the United States for shop steward education, grievance handling, and on up even to the senior officers, they have leadership training, financial secretary training, advanced arbitration techniques. All of these are very important to make the union more effective.
I was one of 103 women who were from all different parts of the country. I said, boy, this is fascinating. Here I am, I'm here to grasp more education. And it's people about my union, and there are people here that don't even have a union. They want to know what to do to unionize. And I thought this day and time, if you worked anywhere, everybody was in a union.
No, not everyone has a union, but many unprotected workers are looking for a positive change in the workplace. There are some, like Emma Ridley from Milwaukee, who are especially concerned with wages and safety conditions on the job.
I transport elderly and handicapped children, and I drive a van, and there's some of us just not safe to drive. We don't know why it's so hard for, to talk to your boss and just tell him, well, these are not living wages. The wages are not living wages, and the vehicles are not kept up. And we go to him and tell him, he said, well, okay, I'll get it fixed. This never happens.
Emma is trying to organize the drivers in her company to join ATU so that she and her fellow workers can have the benefits of a contract and union membership. She knows what others have discovered. There is strength in unity.
I've seen one member who was discharged, lost his home, was able to get his job back. Now, you never gain 100% of what you lose, but he was able to get his job back, and the means and the methods to try to restore the things that he had lost. And he would not have been able to do that had it not been for the ATU.
In today's workplace, people have problems they can't and don't have to handle alone. The ATU has been in the forefront of helping our members through employee assistance programs and union counseling. It's just another way the union is there to come to the aid of the membership.
I'm still not convinced we need a union around here. I mean, things aren't that bad.
Okay. Believe me, I understand your apprehension. This is a completely new idea for most of you. But listen to your objections. Things aren't that bad. Well, what would make things bad enough? Watch the news and see how many companies are trying to get away with giving workers as little as possible. And why not? What is stopping them? And take a look at this. The U.S. government reports that unionized workers make 35% to 40% higher wages than non-union workers, and they receive more fringe benefits than non-union people. That's more paid leave like vacations and holidays, more towards health care premiums, better pension plans, and more supplemental pay, like shift differentials. The government figures show that the difference can amount to over $6 an hour. And these are just some of the possible benefits of a union contract.
So what is it about the Amalgamated Transit Union that's going to make a difference?
Well, the ATU, the union, is the voice of the worker in Canada and the U.S., on the job, in the community, in Parliament, on Capitol Hill, and in the courts. Our union has fought for protections for workers. When any threat to our members arise, we equip our officers and educate our members. The ATU has been and will continue to be at the forefront of every battle, fighting for dignity in the workplace and for a better way of life.
The boss, the companies, the employers never gave these benefits to the employees. They were fought for and won by the labor movement and through the collective action of many people.
This way, if we got a union in there, we have somebody to back us up. If we go to something like if we go to a union store, we have a good union store, they can do something about this, you know. We won't have to drive a van that's unsafe because we'll have someone to back us up. If we refuse now, we could get fired, you know, just for refusing to drive a van.
You know, I'm still a bit confused about how the international office fits into this whole thing. What do they do?
Let me put it this way. Just as you become a force to be reckoned with when you join together in a local union, you become that much stronger when you pool your resources with those of an even larger organization like the ATU. Most of our members recognize that their connection with the international is far more beneficial than it costs. The international ATU can provide representation and services at any time your local needs the help. And don't forget that the ATU becomes even stronger when it affiliates with other unions that make up the entire labor movement. And that's why the ATU is affiliated with the AFL-CIO in the US and the CLC in Canada to press labor's economic and social issues at the local, state, and federal level. Things like quality education in our schools, training programs, universal, affordable health care, occupational safety standards, protection of a retiree's income, just to mention a few.
Well, it sounds like the union's not just concerned with your job, but with your entire way of life.
Yeah. That's exactly it, exactly. And we begin our second century as we began our first, organizing the unorganized, protecting the right to collective bargaining, seeking to safeguard the health and welfare, educating our members, and in every way possible, working to secure a brighter future for ourselves, for our families, and for those who come after us.
The challenges that face us in the coming years could easily be discouraging, but no more so than what faced our founders more than 100 years ago. The challenges are there, like the use of permanent replacement workers to break strikes, privatization of the transit industry, and elimination of jobs, ensuring equal rights for all workers, controlling the rising cost of health care, and the need to protect the future of North America's workforce. We will advance on all these fronts, and we will succeed. So 100 years from now, we can continue to raise our voices together and sing.
When the union's inspiration.
I can't envision a respectable life without a union.
Through the workers' blood shall run.
Where I am today, whatever I have today,
It means a lot for the workers.
I have gained it through being a member of the Amalgamated Transit Union.
There can be no power greater anywhere beneath the sun.
ATU got my job back.
I feel that my union is very strong.
All of us together on our job.
Yet what force on earth is weaker than the people's strength of one? But the union makes us strong.
enjoyed every blessed minute.
Fantastic.